MLR has a new champion, folks, with New York taking out the title at their home away from home. They didn't play their regular stadium for the final, but 30 points to 15. Pretty emphatic win in the end, despite the fact that the Seawolves boys actually took the lead at the start of this game. But yeah, I've just watched it a day after the fact, admittedly. But we'll go through some key events and stats, and you guys can let me know your thoughts on how this final game of what's been a pretty fun MLR season came to a close. It started pretty well for the Seawolves boys, to be honest. Decent wee crowd, good weather, and then Yosefo going over to open the scoring 3 minutes in. Heap of carries over the advantage line for the Seawolves boys. 5 points to nil. Alatimu uncharacteristically missing a conversion. I don't know if that's the pressure of the occasion because we've seen him hit some pretty good kicks in his time this season and his kicking percentage has to be really high. Very rarely see him miss that many. But he did miss that one, which meant when New York hit back a few minutes later through Tucker, that was from a scrum as well. I think that was all started from like a box kick that got dropped from the Seawolves guys. Kind of gave New York the field position and the territory, field position and the possession to set up an attacking play. That's when Tucker went over, so second phase after the scrum. So good power, and that put them in the lead with the conversion, so 7 points to 5. But the lead chopped and changed a few times, which is kind of what you want to see in a final. New York conceded a penalty through a high tackle. Seattle slotted that one over, so 8 points to 7. So this is what I mean about the chopping and changing. It's good. Sometimes you see a final where one team just takes the lead and runs away with the game. We did see that happen later on, but at least not in the initial periods. New York missed the penalty before half-time, but they managed to make up for it with the not half-time, the hydration break, but kind of half of half-time. But they managed to get a penalty try not long after anyway when they set up a maul. Pretty well set up as well because it was a short line-out, really, only a few guys in it, but they set up a really effective maul. And it managed to just trundle over. So, 14 points to 8. Herbst went into the bin for that one. So, the power play, as they are calling it in the MLR, started for the New York boys. They did get held up during the yellow card period. So, the New York boys were looking to extend the lead. And they did eventually get the try through Ellis, although it was just after Herbst had come back on, I believe. Ellis's one was a bit of a thing of beauty. Good for him in his last game before he retires, eh? The fingertips on the ball. They had to TMO check it to make sure he hadn't kind of bounced it over the line, but his fingertips were still touching it. All good. I mean, good hands in the build-up, Heighton in the build-up, and a few other guys. So, really well worked play from the New York guys. They were absolutely flying at that point. So, 19-8 is the halftime score. New York have had more possession, more territory. And the Seawolves boys have conceded a couple more penalties. Interestingly, in the second half, the New York boys, I guess, feeling that momentum, decided not to opt for a 3, which would have been a pretty straightforward shot. But Seattle's defense, kind of crucially for their hopes in this game, managed to hold. It kind of led to New York at a later opportunity, indeed, switching back to opt for the 3. I guess they were hoping that momentum was going to continue on. I mean, it did to a degree, but eventually, it's a final. Sometimes, you got to play it a bit more cautious. They ended up opting for a penalty to extend their lead to 22 points to 8. And it got even better when Mayhew got maybe the try of the game. I don't know. There were some good tries in this game, but Mayhew's one where he gets the ball, basically picks it up from his ankles, offloads it from the ground, and then he gets back up and is the supporting carrier the next phase to finish off a try. For a prop, you got to love that stuff, man. Even if you aren't that excited about prop scoring tries like I get, that one was proper silky skills. That made it, was it 27-8? And I thought, that's probably game over. But Seattle did get one through Matunga not long later, which at least kept the play going. I mean, Alatimu with some silky skills, chucking the ball between his legs, a bit of the old razzle-dazzle. So, at least that got it back to 27-15. But, there was a yellow card as well to Will Tucker for being a bit of a cynical one to kill the ball on Watkins' line break, the halfback, the reserve halfback. So, that was the moment where I started to question maybe the comeback could be on, but then there's a drop goal to Windsor. Seattle denied a try by the TMO for a guy. It was the other Tucker brother off his feet. So, yeah, they had a couple of things not go their way. The drop goal made it a 3-score game. And to be fair, Seattle were never coming back from there. So we do have a new MLR champion, which is New York. I mean, you got to be pleased for some of the guys who are ending their careers. I'm not sure if Milner, Scudder, and Naholo are going to keep going. Those guys are a bit younger than Andy Ellis, but what a way for him to end his career. The teammates lifted him up. He's been a real integral part of the season, kind of like Naholo and Milner Scudder joined in at the end of the season, but Andy Ellis has been there the whole season, and he's been really instrumental. So, yeah, hopefully some of the guys have learned from having him around, and he would have been a good... I mean, you can tell by the fact that the way his teammates reacted to celebrating the team winning the final, their first reaction was to kind of celebrate with him. Obviously shows kind of what he means to the team. So a good way to sign their season off. New champion for the MLR. It's pleasing to see. There's obviously that still bit of a kind of a shadow of doubt. The fact that the Gilgronis and the Giltinis ended up being disqualified. Would they have had something else to say about it? Well, we'll never know, but the New York boys certainly finished the season strongly and deserved winners. So, yeah, 30 points to 15. We now move on to the internationals in July. And I should say, for you guys in the States, Flow Rugby, who's an affiliate of the channel, have got loads of the games on. I don't know which ones they don't have. I'm pretty sure they got like All Blacks Ireland, England, Australia, South Africa, Wales. They got the States up against Chile. They've got the States up against the French Barbarians. So if you guys are looking to sign up for Flow, they got loads of games on. So link down in the description for Flow. If you sign up via my link, then I get a wee bit of commission. So happy days, and you guys get a bunch of international rugby on in July. It's going to be massive. There's so much rugby on. It's unbelievable. But yeah, good time to be a rugby fan, essentially. But yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts on the final. Commiserations to Seattle fans. Your team did come back pretty well for the situation they were in. Like towards the end of the season, not even supposed to be making the playoffs. They certainly finished the season, their opportunity strongly. But the New York boys on the day, just a wee bit too good. But yeah, you guys take care of yourselves. And yes, I will talk to you guys again soon. See you later.